Hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM, here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Hello, Gavin.
How's it going? I did not get released yet.
Yeah, Gavin has still not gotten cut, surprisingly.
I know.
So
if you don't answer your phone, you can't get released.
You know, that's actually one of the things I want to talk about today because, we always have a topic ready to go, but we decided there was enough news today to cover some of the things that have been happening this week in the world of wrestling.
Indeed, yes.
Monday we covered 8 releases, and then there was one that quietly happened right after those releases that I guess people weren't talking about as much. But I want to get to that. I want to talk about an upcoming show in Hawaii. And of course I want to talk about what I feel is the big story today. That is Adam Rose and his misadventures.
He's a lemon.
Let's start with the Brawler.
Okay.
So, A Superstars get released on Friday. I don't know if this happened at the same kind of swoop and no one reported on it, or if it happened shortly thereafter, but over the course of, I think, the weekend, Steve Lombardi, Brooklyn Brawler, gets released. Now, this is not too surprising from an on-air standpoint.
Yeah, I understand too, yeah.
But off the air, he was a major contributor to the world of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it.
He was the jobber's jobber. He never won matches. He was the Brooklyn Brawler, and he was notorious for losing matches. And he had a 30-year career doing this. 30 years. So while it's sad that he got released, it's not surprising. It's like you've been here for 30 years. I think it's time. And even though I admire his backstage contributions and whatnot, but Santino was doing backstage stuff too, and he also got released. So
Santino, he bit the dust this week too. The Brawler, it's like, yes, he had a 30-year career. Yes, it was on air as a jobber, but I feel like it was the late 80s where he really was a jobber. I feel like anytime in like the 2000s you saw him, it was always as a joke.
Yeah.
So I feel like calling him a jobber, in the 90s and 2000s would be just kind of like giving him a little too much credit.
But then again, he would come back to do jobs.
True.
He would come back, and that was his joke. He was a jobber.
And I get what you're saying there. I'm just saying he was an active part of the roster, a big deal in like the late 80s, kind of the rock and wrestling transitioning into the early 90s kind of time. And
according to Ryback and Ryback's Tumblr rant, he should be a multi-millionaire by now.
I don't think he is though.
I don't think, but he should be, considering that jobbers should get paid more because they make the other guy look good. So the Brooklyn Brawler should have that Trump money.
I see where you're going with this now. I have a feeling that he didn't get paid the loser money that Ryback was talking about, or probably even the winner money. I have a feeling that his torn attire that he wore to the ring will probably become a regular part of his
wardrobe,
his day-to-day life here in the coming days.
We'll pay you 5 packs of ramen. You get out there and you job to Ryback.
Glass Joe's gonna need some help this week, Brooklyn Brawler. We're gonna need you to put him over. But a guy that you always know is behind the scenes, almost like a Patterson type, that I just never thought would go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a segment producer, helped guys with their promos, kind of helped, with the day-to-day operations of the company. It was just kind of like a hand, knew what was going on all levels of the company, and I'm surprised he was let go after all this time. I just thought, you reach a certain level where you don't get let go with Vince. And I'm surprised that he was let go. So I would put him as pretty surprising all in all, and thank you for your contributions to the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi. By the way, my favorite incarnation of him, as someone who started watching wrestling in 1994, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the guys who portrayed Doink.
Okay.
Especially in the Dink phase.
I do love Doink.
Yeah, so I appreciated those contributions more so than the Brawler.
I've already heard that the Brooklyn Brawler has actually been picked up by TNA and will be their champion by next week.
Yeah, but by next week, given them a little bit of time too. Okay, so let's also talk about this show in Hawaii that's happening on June 29th. I've read conflicting reports about whether this will be broadcast on the network or not. I predict it will be.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be an interesting show, and Hawaii is not a very frequented place by the WWE.
Are they calling this Bash at the Beach?
I haven't heard that.
I think they are calling it Bash at the Beach.
That'd be awesome if that's true. Is it outdoor?
I don't know if it's outdoor.
Okay, that would be fine with me. That's a great name for an event, especially if you're going to hold it on a beach. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Yeah. There are 2 announced matchups so far. One is kind of interesting. The other, I think, is very interesting. The kind of interesting one is Brock Lesnar taking on Kevin Owens. And I'm excited for this because I think they're going to have an interesting style mesh up. They're both kind of brawlers, and there's not many people in WWE today that wrestle like Brock and Kevin Owens do. So I'm excited to see what they come up with.
And they both move like small dudes. Like they're both very agile.
Yeah, and they're hard hitting. They're kind of in your face kind of wrestlers, and I'm interested to see what they come up with personally. They don't even need a feud, in my opinion. You can just go in there and do it. I'm just excited to see it just based on the name value alone. But the one that I think was very surprising is we have John Cena taking on Shinsuke Nakamura.
Which is going to be a weird one.
Yeah, so you know more about Nakamura than I do. What do you think about this one, sight unseen, just knowing what we know about it?
I mean, I'm really excited to see John Cena get stiffed a lot. Like,
okay.
I want to see like elbow strikes, and I want to see. And John Cena is going to make. I don't know who wins this. That's my biggest thing, because you don't want to take all the wind out of Nakamura's sails, and you don't want John Cena to come back and then job out to this guy who...
If I'm going to place a bet 6 weeks out, I'm going to place my bet on Cena winning. But you're right, it's not easy to call in that respect. You don't want to stop a push of a guy like Nakamura who's on fire right now.
Yeah, and see, that's why I don't know why they would... this doesn't make sense to me. Like, nobody... John Cena can take a loss, because that's... I mean... But Nakamura, God, that seems almost like... I don't know, but not a big FU to the community. Like, look, our John Cena will still your little Japanese darling who everybody loves, and because he is basically Japanese John Cena, but however much more talented.
I'm also not. I wouldn't be surprised if the company views an NXT guy jobbing to John Cena as a victory for them. You know, like being with the huge name in the company, even if you don't pick up a victory, is still a win for Nakamura. Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of feel that way too. Even if Nakamura goes in there, puts up a good fight, doesn't get the job done against Cena, he's still probably coming out better with that exposure.
Yeah, I would give him the win though. I don't want this to be and if they do give him a win, let him keep the win, because around this time last year, Kevin Owens beat John Cena cleanly in the ring, and it was awesome. And then he lost the next two pay-per-views, and Cena got his wins back. If they do this, I don't want this whole let Nakamura win. Let him win. Give him that momentum. I don't want this. He fought a good match, then John Cena shakes his hand at the end of the match. I basically just don't want to see Nakamura just get fireman's carried to 1, 2, 3.
I think that's what we're going to see. I think it'll be like that handshake ending, two baby faces. You did a great job, kid. We'll see you in the future kind of thing. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that's what I'm expecting.
I just think it's one thing to do it with Sami Zayn, when Sami Zayn lost to Nakamura before he got a big call-up, and do it with John Cena, who does not need a win over one of the biggest stars New Japan's ever produced. Well,
you make a good point there. And then one more story I wanted to mention. I feel like this is the big one this week. I believe this developed yesterday.
Yeah, it happened yesterday.
I think even... Did TMZ break it?
TMZ broke it.
Adam Rose... arrested in Florida after an alleged domestic dispute with his wife that got physical. WWE was quick to release a statement saying, Adam who? We don't know him. No, they suspended indefinitely because they have a zero tolerance policy for things like this.
Well, he had been suspended already for a wellness policy violation.
You know what? That's true. I wanted to mention that too. This was very bad timing for him.
Yeah, he is not making good choices right now.
Obviously, idle hands with Adam Rose are not a good thing, because he's been home for 60 days or whatever he's been doing, and now he's been fighting with his wife, which turned physical apparently, or allegedly, and so the police were called. He was booked. My understanding, he's still in jail.
Yeah.
And can he survive this?
No, he's gone.
There's no way. That's my thought too. There's just no way.
And did you watch the E60 special on NXT?
I was going to bring that up too.
All of that goodwill he had for having the sick kid and trying to be a good dad and a good husband. I was like, well, you're kind of a piece of human garbage. So.
It was really bad time because, he did come off as a sympathetic victim in that episode. He had a child with disabilities. Seemed like he and his wife were very happily married. He seemed like he came off as a good dude.
Yeah.
And then it's like wasn't Benoit the same way? Like when the Benoit thing happened, it's like, who would have thought this was even possible for him?
Well, this is a much smaller scale.
Well, yeah, no, I understand it, but it came out of left field. Like, he just seemed like a genuine good dude. And then this happens, and it's like, whoa, this is not okay.
I mean, we got to kind of put two and two together here. He gets a wellness policy violation, and he does this. I mean, this could be a roid rage scenario.
You're absolutely right.
Let's just call it what it is.
So what does WWE do from here?
Oh, they just need to quietly cut him, or publicly cut him and make a statement with him.
Do you think he's had his last match? Like, will he have the one send off? Will he return from his wellness violation?
No,
I don't think so.
He's
either.
He's not coming back at all.
Yeah, I think we've seen the last of Adam Rose. But you know what? If what I'm reading is true, and you put your hands on your wife, good riddance.
Yeah,
good riddance.
I don't know where he'd wrestle elsewhere either.
Yeah, I don't know either. And you talk about some people going to GFW, Global Force, or TNA. It's like, who's I hearing? It was a Bret Hart podcast. Like, going to TNA is like not a career move. Like, he's just like, find something else to do, and you can use your fame or whatever, but like going to TNA is like not a refuge right now. So,
and I think that going to either like Ring of Honor or I don't think he'd be good enough for like New Japan, but going to one of those places would be a much better career move than the Dead in the Water TNA.
When he came to WWE, Adam Rose did not even make a dent. He was like he's never here.
Yeah.
He had the party man gimmick that was visible for a short period of time, and then when he became a social outcast, or really when that a few months after the bunny left him and all the rosebuds left him, just wasn't even there. He wasn't even there.
Yeah, so they'll quietly just kind of clearance out all his merchandise, and he'll be gone by the end of the week.
Does he even have merchandise? I never saw like an Adam Rose shirt that I remember.
He did for a little bit, but it was back when he was like still having the party bus and everything.
Yeah. Which I thought had potential. Like, I never thought it was going to be like a championship gimmick, but I was surprised it bombed as epically as it did, personally. So those are your big stories from the week. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me this week, filling in for Steve.
I enjoyed it.
And pop in again on a future episode, even when Steve's back.
Okay.
Thank you for your help. For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Gavin.
Yeah, don't be a lemon. Basically, don't be Adam Rose.